H Special Coverage. Sa mga kabubukas pa lang ho ng kani-kanilang radyo at nakatutok sa RH Television, tayo ho ngayon ay nagbibigay daan muna sa huling pagdinig ng House Justice Committee sa mga reklamo, impeachment complaints laban kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Kaya wala ho muna tayong regular programming sa ating radio at gayon din sa ating RH TV. Kanina ay naputol tayo doon sa clarificatory questions, so mga pagtatanong ni Congressman Laila De Lima. Atin nang alamin ang latest mula sa House Justice Committee mula kay RH12, Ms. Milky Rigunan. Ms. Milky.
Well, nagpapatuloy pa rin ang pagdinig ng House Justice Committee at ang pinag-uusapan ng mga tinatalakay ay tungkol doon sa death threats ni Vice President Sara Duterte laban kay Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, First Lady Lisa at si former House Speaker Martin Romualdez. Ang maganda dito yung tanong kanina ni Congresswoman Bel Zamora, doon sa isa sa mga nag-imbestiga ng sa panig ng National Bureau of Investigation. Ito yung ahente, si Agent John Mark Calilog. Ayon kay Calilog, sa pagtatanong ni Representative Zamora ay authenticated yung kanilang digital evidence. Nakipag-communicate muna sila sa Facebook Meta para ma-preserve ang URL. Nagkaroon ng confirmation email from Meta. Nag-stream ng account ay si Harry Roque. At kabilang dito sa pina-preserve kabilang dito yung URL at sa affidavit of investigation, kinumpirma ni Agent Malilong na hindi na-splice, hindi edited, hindi altered o AI ang ipinasang video at sila ay nakatitiyak na original. Yung naturang video, pinalabas ito kanina, kung inyong napanood, ang inulit-uli na video ni Vice President Sara Duterte. Umaga ito ng November 23, 2024. Nagkaroon siya ng press con at sa Zoom video ay pinagmumura si Pangulong Marcos, First Lady Lisa at ang dating House Speaker Martin Romualdez. At doon niya sinabi na meron siyang hinire na papatay umano sa Pangulo at ang quote ay no joke, pag namatay ako, wag ka tumigil hanggang di mo mapatay sila. And he said yes. So pakinggan natin ang pagpapatuloy ng hearing ng House Justice Committee. Ang nagmamanifest naman ngayon si Mamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila De Lima.
They also showed us that the Duterte family is capable of bringing back the bloodshed instigated by their father, as he attempted to do so immediately at the start of his first term as Davao City Mayor in 2022, with the killing of 7 alleged criminals in Davao City. Fortunately, his attempt to bring back the Davao Death Squad was immediately put to a stop by the PNP when the leadership of the whole Davao Police Force was revealed. The Davao City Police was no longer the Davao Death Squad that the children grew up with and got used to running their errands, including the occasional execution of enemies, as attested to by DDS leader Arturo Las Cañas. Mayor Basta's failed revival of the DDS is also just a poor copy of his sister's record in the EJK business. According to Las Cañas, then Mayor Sara together with the then City Police Chief and now Senator at Large Bato de la Rosa were the ones to come up with Oplan Tokhang as an operation modus of the DDS. Marami pong sinabi si Las Cañas sa kakayahan ni VP Sara na maging katulad ng kanyang tatay. Kaya nung sinabi ni VP Sara na kumuha na siya ng hitman para patayin ang first couple, hindi po yun biro. Siya po mismo ang nagsabi, no joke. Hindi biro ang pagbabanta ni VP Sara sa buhay ng Pangulo at unang ginang. Na ginawa niyang bantang ito ay hindi na alegasyon. Napanood po natin ito sa live streaming video. Nung gabing yun, nakita natin ang totoong Sara Duterte. Nanlilisik ang mata, halos bumula ang bibig, at lumabas ang dugo sa tenga dahil tila ba sasabog na ang kanyang ulo sa galit dahil sa pag-detain sa kanyang Chief of Staff dito mismo sa loob ng batasan. The irony of this is that it all happened here, within the premises of the House of Representatives, in the same government compound where we are sitting now in judgment whether or not to recommend to the House plenary the filing of the articles of impeachment against VP Sara for the Senate, to the Senate for an impeachment trial. And so we have gone full circle, Madam Chair. Sa haba-haba ng prosesyon na nag-umpisa sa opisina ni Kong Paulo Duterte nung gabi, noong November 23, 2024, bumalik tayo ngayon para dinggin ang krimen at impeachable offense na naganap malapit lamang sa bulwagan na ito. Ang seryosong pagbabanta sa buhay ng Pangulo, unang ginang dating speaker ng kanyang pangalawang Pangulo. Hindi bale sana kung walang gulugod sa likod ng banta. Pero katulad po ng aking sinabi, may kakayahan si VP Sara at ang pamilya Duterte na isa katuparan ng kanilang mga bantang pagpatay sa Pangulo. Sa katunayan, ilang beses na nilang hinahilintulad ang Pangulo sa libo-libong drug addict na pinapatay ng kanilang tatay. Sa tingin ko po, sa akin po, ito ang pinakamalalang ground for impeachment. Dahil pinakita nito ang kawalan ng tamang pag-iisip ni VP Sara. Again, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, but that's what I can see from the character and personality of VP Sara. Hindi lamang pagbabanta sa buhay ng Pangulo ang ating nasaksihan noong gabing yon mula sa room 304 ng South Wing Annex, kung hindi ang lagim na kinakaharap ng ating bayan sa ilalim ng isa na namang Duterte. That is my manifestation, Madam Chair, for the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable De Lima. Next to raise clarificatory questions is the Honorable Bernadette Barbers.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair. Clarificatory question lang po para kay Director Matibag. Good afternoon, Director Matibag.
Good afternoon.
Oo. Kasama din po ba sa video yung tungkol sa pagbibitiw sa tungkulin ni VP Duterte bilang miyembro ng kabinete ni Pangulong Marcos at saka bilang Secretary ng Department of Education at bilang Vice Chair ng NTF-ELCAC or the National Task Force to End Local Communist Armed Conflict?
Yes, good afternoon. That question, I would like to direct to John Mark Calilong. He was the one who authenticated the videos na dinala namin at sinabit dito.
Secretariat, please play the video.
Okay.
Earlier today, June 19, 2024, I sought an audience with the President and tendered my resignation as the Secretary of Education effective July 19, 2024. I have given my 30-day notice to ensure the proper and orderly transition for the benefit of the next Secretary.
Pangalawang tanong po, yun naman pong video pagkatapos niyan na biglang sinabi niyang hindi na raw siya dadalo sa SONA ni PBBM at ina-appoint niya yung sarili niya bilang designated survivor.
It was considered during our investigation, Your Honor.
Okay.
Did you submit that video also?
Yes, Your Honor.
Secretariat, kindly play the video.
Matan ka sa SONA.
Sa SONA? No. No, I will not attend the SONA. I am appointing myself as the designated survivor.
Okay. Yan po yung video. Pinatotohanan niyo ba na yan yung inyong inimbestigahan?
Yes, kasama po sa conduct of investigation and an ongoing investigation po.
Okay. Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam
The
Chair.
Honorable Ko.
Ako muna.
But before Honorable Ko,
In reference to the
few
manifestation.
follow-up question lang from the Honorable Chua.
Got it, Madam Chair.
Just a brief manifestation, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, alam po ninyo yung designated survivor, no? Gusto ko lang i-emphasize na hindi po natin po pwedeng baliwalain ito. Kasi sa Amerika po o sa ibang bansa, ito pong tinatawag nating designated survivor ay ito po ay protocol sa US government. Ito po ay inakma dun sa isang, makikita po natin yung konsepto nito dun po sa isang TV series sa Amerika, yung designated survivor. So ang ibig sabihin po nito, Madam Chair, dun po sa Amerika, pagka meron pong isang malaking pagtitipon kung saan nandoon lahat ang mga top brass o lahat ng mga matataas na opisyal ng gobyerno mula presidente, vice-presidente, mga cabinet secretary, senador, mga congressman. Kumbaga, ikukumpara po natin dito sa ating present setup. Ito po yung tinatawag nating SONA. Sa Amerika po, meron pong isang opisyal ng gobyerno na sineseparate nila o hindi nila pina-attend doon sa pagtitipon na yon ng kagaya ng SONA. Yun ang tinatawag nilang designated survivor. Ang purpose po nun, in the event na may mangyari, halimbawa po, nagkaroon po ng catastrophic event, nagkaroon ng matinding lindol, nagkaroon ng matinding, halimbawa, o binomba, yung isang lugar kung saan nandoon lahat ang mga matataas na opisyal ng gobyerno. Meron pong isang matitira, yung designated survivor, siya po ang tatayo o hahaliling presidente ng bansa. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng designated survivor. Ngayon, ang tanong ko po, bakit po ito binabanggit ng ating vice-presidente? Meron po ba siyang alam na masamang mangyayari nung panahon na yon? O may alam ba ang ating vice-presidente na mangyayari kaya ayaw po niyang dumalo sa SONA? So ito po yung mga katanungan na hindi po natin dapat binabaliwala. So yun lang po, Madam Chair.
Madam
Before we proceed, our parliamentary status, we are conducting the clarificatory hearing for the allegations of threat and destabilization acts. And there are justice members who have raised clarificatory questions already. We are on the video. Honorable Barbers just presented the video of resignation of the Vice President and the designated survivor videos. And for the record, these videos were submitted by the NBI during our clarificatory hearings. To proceed,
Madam Chair.
the Honorable Joboy Aquino.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Hindi ba unfair naman po kung ang pop culture reference ay gagawin basihan ng suspicion? Marami namang gumagamit ng references from films and series as metaphor. Metaphor lang, Madam Chair. Ang punto ko lang, yung series ng Designated Survivor ay widely known na fiction. Kung ginamit man ito ng Vice Presidente, it could simply be a figure of speech. We should be careful not to overinterpret statements or put meaning beyond its plain language, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
I observe that Chair Benny Abante is also raising his hand. Do you have any manifestation or clarificatory question with regards to the resignation video and the designated survivor video?
I requested, Madam Chair, that after the clarificatory questions, that I would be allowed to make a manifestation.
All right, so I will call you after all the clarificatory questions. The Honorable Kong, Attorney J.P. Padiernos is recognized.
Madam Chair, thank you so much. Madam Chair, I understand yung point po na ni-raise ni Honorable Joboy Aquino. However, we must also consider the other side of the coin. There is a need to examine the statements of the impeachable officer in their entirety and not in isolation in order to determine context, intent, and possible implication. In particular, the reference to the show Designated Survivor cannot be viewed on its own, divorced from the other statements made before, during, or after it. Nevertheless, it must be emphasized that at this stage of the impeachment proceedings, the issue is not yet final guilt or innocence. The question before us is only whether there is sufficient factual basis and probable cause to hold the impeachable officer answerable for the allegations. Whether the impeachable officer is ultimately guilty of the impeachable offense, whether in relation to the designated survivor reference or the other statements attributed to her, as mentioned a while ago, is a matter that belongs to the Senate to determine at the proper time should the case proceed in trial. That's all, Madam Chair.
The manifestation of the Honorable J.P. Padiernos is noted. Now we recognize the Honorable D.S.J.J. Suarez.
Maraming salamat, Madam Chair. Alam niyo po, maaaring fiction po yung series ng Designated Survivor sa US. Kaso lang, hindi po ito biro sa atin. Unang-una, dahil ang nagbigkas po ng mga salitang yan ay yung mismong makikinabang kung merong mangyari sa buhay ng ating presidente. She is the direct beneficiary of anything that will happen to the president. And thereby designating herself as a survivor means that she may be entertaining some thought or there are some, things that may happen to the president. And as we all know, the president, the highest elected official of the land, whose life must remain secure because of the responsibilities and the duties that he holds. So we should not take this lightly, Madam Chair. Yes, it may be a basis of some series, and all the reason why it should be the basis because there is so much significance in that statement that was uttered, Madam Chair. So I would just like to put that on record. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable D.S.J.J. Suarez. Now we proceed with the next to raise clarificatory question. Is this still on the video of resignation and designated survivor? D.S. Konghun? D.S. Konghun is recognized.
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. May I ask clarificatory questions lang po para sa NBI? Base po sa Part 4, Paragraph 53 ng Affidavit of Investigation, sinabi dito na the statements made by the Vice President were brought about or motivated by the unpleasant circumstances that happened prior to November 23, 2024 press conference. She imagined the cutting of the president's head. She further claimed that her name was marred by Speaker Martin Romualdez, First Lady Lisa Marcos Araneta, and President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Kinukumpirma niyo po ba ito?
Yes, Your Honor. It's on the October 18 video that was also authenticated, Your Honor.
Thank you. Base naman po sa Part 4, Paragraph 54 ng Affidavit of Investigation, sinabi po dito na the convolution of these circumstances will demonstrate that the threat is not a product of temporary fit of anger, but it was deliberately thought out by the Vice President. Kinukumpirma niyo po ba ito?
Yes, Your Honor.